Hey, good evening, champions. Welcome to tonight's edition of the Motivation to Elevation Facebook Live podcast. We will be getting started momentarily. I trust that your day was a peaceful one. It is March 14th, 314 day here in the STL, and people have been losing their minds here. It's kind of a big deal here in the STL on this day. They be giving crazy discounts everywhere, lines along, just for an opportunity to enjoy some of that flavor that you can only get here in the STL. So I'm just excited about tonight's podcast. I trust that your day was peaceful, that it was a productive one, and we're going to get started momentarily. And if you're just hopping on, let me know, say hello in the comments section. And if you get value from what's going to be shared tonight, feel free to share it on your Facebook walls. Feel free to share it on your YouTube channels. But I got to tell you, this weather is bipolar. It really is. Hey, Taisha, how are you? Trust that your day is going well. Talked to a lot of people today, and they said that their day was busy. I don't like having busy days. I like having productive days. My day has been pretty good. No complaints. Made some money. Yeah, Kim, this weather is a trip. This weather is crazy. What's up, Shantae? Glad to see you made it on. All right, let's get going. Hey, champions, welcome to tonight's edition of the Motivation to Elevation Facebook Live podcast. It's yours truly, Arian, Tyson, the movie Motivator. I am in my office here in St. Louis, and it's kind of a big deal here in St. Louis because it is March 14th, otherwise known as Pi Day, but in the STL, it's 314 Day. So it's kind of a big deal here because of the fact that people just lose their minds when it comes to St. Louis and, 314 Day. I literally had a chance to see that one of the local spots here literally had an hour wait for a chicken dinner that they're offering for $3.14. That's how crazy it is here on March 14th on 314 Day. So it's kind of a big deal. But it's a way that, the residents here, whether they're from here, that they honor the opportunity to just really, rep their city. So, I'm from St. Louis, born and raised, and I'm proud. Every city has their quirks about them, but, hey, it made me, it raised me, it bred me, and here I am, still here, still standing. And so having said all that, thank you so much to everyone hopping on. I will not be before you long, but I want to talk to you about the ABCs of productive living. And so whenever I talk to someone, I ask them how's their day going. And a lot of people say that, their day was busy or their day was cool. But very few people say that their day is productive. So before I go through these ABCs, I want to share with you the difference between having or being busy and being productive, because it is not the same. Oh, hey, Rita. Hey, Stephanie. Thanks for hopping on, both of you all. There's a difference between being busy and there's a difference between being productive. And so let me break down quickly some of the differences. I'm going to give you 3 differences. Number 1, busy people have long to-do lists. Productive people have 3 items on their to-do list. What I mean by that is it's about getting clear. Being clear about what your goals are is the easiest way to tell if you're being productive. Ask yourself in the morning, what the 3 most important things are for you to accomplish today. You have to be productive. You have to be proactive in your day. Jumping from task to task without clear direction or goals is just busy work and is likely not going to result in a productive day. Having your top 3 goals in front of you helps you remain focused. If you consistently do not get those 3 things done, then it's time for some serious conversation with yourself, because there's something going on. It's easier that what you say is important. It's either that what you say really isn't important, or there's some reason that you're procrastinating. Another thing, busy people, and we're all guilty of this, and I'm working on it. Busy people multitask. Productive people single task. Doing 3 things at once makes you feel like you're being super productive, but even research says we're actually terrible multitaskers. One showed people who regularly bombard themselves with several streams of information had difficulty paying attention, recalling information, switching from one task to another, compared to those who only focused on one task at a time. Multitasking has even been shown to lower a person's IQ. One popular University of London professor showed multitaskers experience declines in their IQ scores similar to what they would have experienced if they had smoked weed or stayed up all night. It is what it is. How on the other hand, single tasking, on the other hand, means focusing on one task at a time and makes you more productive by allowing you to be fully immersed in the task at hand. If your mind starts to wander to another task, start writing down your thought. Simply writing down your thought can get it out of your head, so you'll be able to refocus on the task that you have set up as your priority. And then the third thing is, busy people say yes to everything. Productive people say yes strategically. I'm going to say that again. Busy people say yes to everything. Productive people say yes strategically. Improving your productivity means avoiding that tendency to say yes to every task that lands on your plate. Productive people think about the repercussions of saying yes and only take on what will help them accomplish their key goals. Avoid saying yes right away by taking some time to think it over. But don't overthink it, because we have a tendency to overthink a lot of things that are really no-brainers. Just ask anybody who's an entrepreneur. I'm sure that they can relate. Ask for more information about the task, what's involved, the deadline, the time commitment required, etc. Get some real details about what's involved, and then say, let me get back to you on this in a certain amount of time. Normally 24 to 48 hours. This gives you the time to really think about saying yes, about how saying yes will fit into your priorities. If it doesn't fit, then scrap it and learn how to say no. Having said all this, so I just gave you about 3 ways that busy people are different from productive people and vice versa. So I want to talk about productive living, because we should strive to be productive and not busy. So I want to share with you, literally just going down the alphabet, the ABCs of productive living. And I challenge you to practice your ABCs daily to live a more proficient and productive life. Let's start with A. A, avoid negative people, negative habits, and negative sources of information. Now, being that we're on social media, there's a lot of garbage that goes on social media. And it's easy to get caught up and lose track of time when you see what's going on, let's say, on World Star, or what's going on TMZ, or what's going on, whatever Wendy Williams is talking about, because she makes no sense whatsoever. But you have to learn how to avoid negative people. Negative people are people that just find nothing good to say, nothing good about anything. And somehow they could you could tell them that 2 + 2 = 4, and they'll find something negative about that. They'll go so far as to say, well, I can't do 2 + 2. I need more than that. Just negative, like negative Nancy's and so on and so forth. B, believe in yourself and your closest confidants. If you don't have an inner circle of confidants where you can really keep it 120 with each other, something is wrong with you. Something is wrong. You're probably losing your mind. You have to have a group of people that's going to be honest with you. Because we have a lot of people that are yes people. We have a lot of people who they're not honest. They're not being true to who they really are. And it's easy to paint yourself as something that you're not on social media, especially on social media, because it's easy to make it look like we have ourselves all together, especially when you have the filters on your phone and so on and so forth. But what happens when you take the filters off? What happens behind closed doors? What happens when nobody's watching you? Are you really being true to who you say you are? Are you really being true to the persona that you put on social media? Just something to think about. C, create a healthy balance between career, family, and social responsibilities. What I mean by that is people get too caught up chasing the dream that they neglect the things that really matter. And I believe I operate from the principle of God, family, then business. And when that is out of order, it's utter chaos. I believe in maintaining balance and staying sucker free. You have to have that balance, because what's the use of working if you don't take time to enjoy the fruit of your labor and appreciate those that really matter? Because if you're too busy working, and you neglect the people that really matter, you will find yourself by yourself. D, dare to be unique and creative. Why is this important? Because we are all uniquely and wonderfully made. There's only one of you. It doesn't matter if you are a twin or a triplet, etc. There's only one you. And so don't spend your time trying to be someone else or trying to, people are quick to say, I want to be like you when I grow up. No, be yourself. Be the best version of yourself. And watch how you can provide value to those around you, because it's only one you. And, I'm quick to tell people all the time that, it's only one me. And I don't say it arrogantly. I say it as fact. It's only one me. And it's only one you. So you might as well be the best. You can only be the best at being you. So why don't you just dare to be you and bring what you have to the table? Let's go to E. Enjoy yourself every day. It's quite possible there will be no tomorrow. Now we know how, tomorrow's not promised. And I've said it, oftentimes that, the past is history and tomorrow's a mystery. All we have is today. That's why it's the present. That's why it's a gift. So we might as well make today count for something. Let's go to F. Find what you love and become an expert at it. Everybody has a talent. Everybody has a gift, whether they believe it or not. And it's crazy to be a jack of all trades, but a master of none. Jack of all trades are important. But when you can say you can master something, you become an authority on it. And people are willing to actually pay you for your services. My fellow entrepreneurs know what I'm talking about. Let's go to G. Go the extra mile. Why? Because a little effort separates the good from the great. And a lot of effort separates the good from the great from the phenomenal. There are levels to this thing. And if it's something that's important to you, you're going to go the extra mile. When you're really passionate about what you do and believe that what you do is of value, you will go the extra mile. But if it's just to make ends meet, you're not going to do so much. You're going to do just enough so that you don't get fired. Just being real with you. Let's go to H. H. Help others when given the chance. I literally had a chance tonight I was at my best friend's house, and I have this thing where I don't like, because of the way I grew up, I've never seen my mom take out the trash. I don't believe she should have to. If you are a woman and you're alone, that's one thing. But if you are a woman and there is a man present or there's a man in the household, there's no way that woman should be taking out the trash. Maybe that's just me, but that's how I operate. That's how my mama raised me. And even though I got my own place and so on and so forth, my own responsibilities, etc., when I go home and visit, if there is trash and my mom says, Arian, can you take out the trash? I can't say that I'm a guest, or I can't say, no, I'm not going to do it, because I'm probably going to get slapped to Thursday, regardless of the fact that I'm an adult. It is what it is. Take out the trash. So I was able to help my friend out by taking out their trash. Didn't have to do it, but it's something I chose to do. It is what it is. Let's go to I. Ignore insults, but take heed to constructive criticism. There is a difference between being insulted and being criticized constructively. Most people don't know how to give constructive criticism. And then a lot of people don't know how to take constructive criticism. It's all in the presentation. It's about how you do stuff. And I literally had a situation come up recently where I was very insulted over something that was a prior issue. So it was difficult for me to ignore it because we've already had that conversation and it keeps coming up, and it was the wrong place at the wrong time for it to come up. So I had to handle that accordingly. So I'm working on that. All of us are a work in progress, but we get better. We're striving to get better. None of us are perfect, but we're striving to become better. I'm not striving to be perfect. I'm striving to be better. So take heed to that. Let's go to J. Like Nike said, just do it. Action is the vehicle for success. People dream about being successful. People desire to be successful, but the problem is you would never be successful if you don't take any type of action. Hey, cuz, you would never be successful if you don't take any type of action. And it's crazy because I was talking to one of my cousins that just hopped on tonight. And, she really is doing a great job, with, in her entrepreneurial endeavor. And I said, I'm actually going to help her out by spreading the word about her business. And basically, I'm going to take about 15 seconds to do that now since she hopped on. If you from St. Louis, I'm sure you've heard of Pimped Out Pickles. Okay, I'm sure you've heard of them. My cousin's pickles are better than theirs. I don't endorse a lot of stuff, but I endorse Big Mama's pickles. If you want to know how to get your hands on Big Mama's pickles, inbox me after this podcast. Because literally, I went to drop off some pickles at my best friend's house that I was just talking about a few minutes ago. And even she vouched for them. It is what it is. And you have an opportunity to really enjoy them. And it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. So get at me. If you're in St. Louis, get at me. I'm endorsing them. So if I'm endorsing them and I'm talking about them on my podcast, it's a big deal. So I figure I would show love to my family because I don't endorse anything. I don't endorse everything. But I'm willing to put my name on the line for them. Period. Let's go to K. Kindness always trumps intelligence in the long run. I'm going to say that again. Kindness always trumps intelligence in the long run. You don't have to have a 180 IQ to be kind. But kindness does go a long way. Oh, no problem, cuz love you too. But I am going to actually do a video. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. Let's go to L. Learn at least one practical lesson every day. We should be learning something every day. Oftentimes we think that once we finish school, that's it for learning. But the day that you refuse to stop learning, the day that you refuse to keep learning is the day that you really start dying slowly and slowly. You should always be learning how to become a better you. You should always be willing to be coachable, to willing to be teachable. Because you don't know everything. And if you're the smartest person in the room that you're in, you need to get in another room. M. Manage your time effectively by prioritizing your obligations. We already talked about that. N. And this is something that we all at some point fall short of. Thank God for grace and mercy. Never lie, never steal, never cheat. More or less, people really don't. I think the biggest thing that people do that we all have probably done at some point is lie. The other two, not so much. But out of those three, because a white lie is a lie, nevertheless. And it's just how it is. So we're going to struggle with that. But as long as you're willing to learn the lesson behind it, then it wasn't in vain. Oh, open your mind to fresh ideas and experiences. One of my pet peeves is narrow-minded people. I can't stand narrow-minded people. People that think that you have to think this way, and if you think any other way, then something is wrong with you. And so what they'll do is they'll force their opinions on you and try to get you to think like them. But last I checked, we was unique. Last I checked, I'm my own person. You are your own person. And I don't have time to try to be like somebody else. All I can be is the best version of Arian. P. Practice, practice, practice. For me, this is practice to me. Although people tell me that, no, this ain't practice to you. You know, you are natural at this. No, this is practice to me, because growing up as a kid, I was very introverted, and I'm still introverted by nature, contrary to popular belief. However, I know that I have a voice in this world, and I have a right to be heard. And I believe that something that I can say is of value and is substantial to help someone or speak life into someone, because we spent a lot of time getting, beat down. And so why not speak life into someone to lift them up? Let's go to Q. This is a big one. Quitting is not an option. Don't give up on something or someone that you believe in. The only time you should is when they've given up on you. And the worst thing that anybody can do is give up on someone that had no intention on giving up on them. Let's go to R. Read as much as you can, as often as you can. For all my entrepreneurs, we've heard it said repeatedly, leaders are readers. And in order for you to become a better person, you got to have personal development. You got to have mindset development. The easiest way to do that, you either listening to motivation and inspiration, or you picking up a book. But you got to read, because it really is fundamental. S. Stop procrastinating. Stop ignoring unsettled problems. It amazes me how people think that they can move forward when they haven't handled their issues correctly. Or they think that they can just bury their issues and don't think that they're going to come up again. It just boggles my mind. T. Take responsibility for your actions, good, bad, or indifferent. It's amazing how people talk about personal responsibility, but they don't take personal responsibility. They don't even know what personal responsibility means. You know what personal responsibility means? It starts with you. It starts with you handling what you can handle and addressing what you can address. You have no control over what somebody else does. The only person that you have control over is you. It starts with you. And what real people do, real people take responsibility for their actions instead of blaming all their faults and failures on others, because the blame game is easy. But what about the numerous instances that led up to what may have happened? Because chances are, when something goes down, nobody's 100% blameless. Nobody. You use your natural talents to open new doors of opportunities. I can't even tell you all how opportunities are coming my way, have opened up just from me shooting videos, just from me launching this podcast back in November and being before you every Tuesday. I've had an opportunity to be blessed to speak on a radio show, something I've never done. And that's all that's going to do is build. All it's going to do is be a stepping stone to something else. And then I'm actually doing something that I've been putting off for years and years and years. I'm going to finally write a book, and I'm saying that publicly. I'm actually going to write a book. I'm going to put on that author hat finally for the first time. I've been told I need to write a book since I was a teenager, and now I've kind of doubled up in age because I'm 34 now, and it's time. Because if only you really knew what my story is. And I'm just going to lean and trust God that, he's going to allow me to be a blessing to a whole lot of people. Visualize your goals and map out an action plan for achieving them. Most people don't plan to fail. They fail to plan. You got to protect your plan. You got to visualize your goals. You got to put them on something tangible and then visualize and attack them. And attack them like it's no tomorrow. In order for you to come up with an action plan, you got to write stuff down. That's W. Write stuff down. X factors for success are always present. Keen awareness will uncover them. Let's go to Y. 2 more, I'm done. You will never succeed if you never try. One thing I cannot stand is when people say that they want to be successful, but they won't even try. I mean, ask yourself, do you really even believe in yourself? Do you really even believe in your dreams? Do you even believe that you have the opportunity to be successful? Do you believe that you can be successful? Do you really? So what? How many times you have fallen short? You're in good company. But if I stayed down when I got knocked down, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. Which leads me to letter Z. Zero in on the truth by analyzing situations from every possible angle. We don't know everything. We think that just by looking at something one way that we have all of the answers, but we don't. And that's where keeping that open mind comes in. Because we all have areas where we're weak in and areas where we're really strong in. But if we can learn how to get together, we can learn how to come together, and I utilize my gift or what I can bring to the table to its maximum ability, and you do the same thing in your area. Just imagine what could happen when we put these pieces together and collaborate and network. We all can eat. And I literally, before I hopped on and got live, I literally just said this, and I'm gonna leave you with this now. Just because you want to see your people eat doesn't make it your responsible, or doesn't make you responsible for making their plate. I'm gonna say it again. Just because you want to see your people eat doesn't make you responsible for making their plate. So having said all that, I'm done. I want to thank you all so much for taking time out of your schedule to hop on to tonight's podcast. I trust that it was of value to you. And if you got value from it, let me know. Send me an inbox message. Leave me a message on my wall. Share the podcast with someone. But I literally just went through the ABCs of productive living. And if you hopped on late, once the replay is up, feel free to go back, jot them down, and implement them. And so watch and see how you grow in every area of your life. Remember, in life, you have 2 choices. You can make moves or you can make excuses, but you most certainly cannot do both. It's yours truly, Arian Tyson, the Moving Motivator. Thank you so much again for hopping on to tonight's edition of the Motivation to Elevation Facebook Live podcast. I will be back next Tuesday, same time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. here in the Central Time Zone. God bless you all. Good night.